Hello everyone, and welcome to this EC Aquatics video. So I have just gotten home for Thanksgiving break, and I have not seen my aquariums for about 3 months now, ever since I went off to college in August. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick update on how my tanks have been doing. It's mostly good, but a couple things that need changing that I am going to take care of. So this is right here, this is my 10-gallon Blackwater aquarium, and this thing has just been dialed in for a year now or so, and no surprises, nothing really has changed since I left it. No need for any kind of maintenance or anything like that. All the fish, as you can see, are doing really well. There's a gigantic mat of Amazon frogbit right up here. That needs thinning out, but I'll do that in a couple of weeks because it's really not harming anything right now. Yeah, as you can see, everything's great on this tank. Nothing really needs to be done here. And as you can see, this is the mountain tank with a big hardscape. All the fish are doing absolutely wonderful. There's our nice big male Crebensis. He's doing really great. Unfortunately, as you can tell, he has made himself right at home here and has ripped up majority of the plants on the ground here and is completely dug everything, bumped hardscape around and just dug everything up. But he's doing great. The pencilfish are doing wonderful as well, and our 2 remaining cherry barbs that I've had for years are still kicking as well. Plants back here, the Rotala indica is doing great, and this crypt, I think it's a crypt balance or something like that, crypt spiralis, one of those, as you can tell, is just gotten massive, and it seems to really like being back there, as you can tell. The only real issue that I've had on this tank is that unfortunately the filter back here burnt out, which is unfortunate. Not really sure how that happened, but it did. So I've got a little temporary internal Tetra filter that I've had sitting in storage for several years, and it's good for 20-gallon aquariums like this one, so I've just kind of hooked it up, and that's what's running on this tank. Really nothing needs to be done. I'll probably scrub the glass, do a little bit of a water change, but nothing interesting really that I'm going to show. Yeah, everything on this tank is doing fantastic. Our swords back there doing nicely. But yeah, everything's doing really well in this tank as well. Alrighty, so here is my fishbowl aquarium. It's been set up for about a year, and yeah, it's kind of gotten overgrown with algae. I mean, the fish are doing great. There's nothing wrong with the water. It's just really covered in algae. It seems like there's a lot of excess nutrients in the tank that the plants aren't pulling out, and the algae's kind of taken over. You can see our endlers right here. There's 2 of them right there, and there's our 3rd. They're doing wonderful, but the algae is kind of getting annoying, so I am going to actually break this tank down and move the fish downstairs for a little bit before I'm back again after my semester's over to set up a new and improved fishbowl that will hopefully have a lot less algae. Alrighty, so everything's been taken out of this bowl now. So you can see it's completely empty. All the fish and plants are out. Yes, it's quite dirty with algae, but I'll clean that up with the magic of editing. And just like that, it is perfectly clean and good to go. A bunch of the water and all my unusable plants are down here, and I tried to save as many of the plants as I could. So everything not covered in algae and that was still looking nice is in here along with all the fish, and I'm going to try and save this. All the plants I'm going to dip in a mixture of bleach and water. I've shown on the channel previously how to do that and ensure that your plants are free of algae. If you want to see that video, I'll pop up a link to it somewhere. Yeah, but I'm now going to take these guys and let them into their tank downstairs. So I'm just going to leave it here for the next couple weeks before I'm back, and I will set this one up. So be on the lookout for that video. That will be coming out within the next couple of weeks. It should be really awesome. So the same thing has happened over here in my little 3-gallon chili Rasbora tank. Once again, overgrown with algae. Everything else is fine. You know, same thing. I'm going to pull out all the plants, get the fish out, move them to the same tank downstairs that I'm going to put the endlers in, and just kind of reset this thing in a couple of weeks. This glass, once again, also very algae covered, but once again with the magic of editing. And there we go. Now this tank is cleaned up as well. And I'm also gonna leave this for, 2-3 weeks till I get back and scape that as well. So also be on the lookout for this tank. Okay, so here is a 20-gallon tank that we're going to be using to store these fish for the time being. And I've also gotten a plant delivery in, and I'm just going to be tossing all those plants in, and they're going to grow for the next couple of weeks in this tank while I'm setting up the 2 tanks that these fish are coming from. And these are actually going to be the plants that are going into those tanks. So they'll have a couple of weeks to convert, but in the meantime, I'm going to fill up this tank, get it running, and add in the plants so that we can add in our fish. Got all of my fish and plants in here, and all the temperatures should be matching, so I'm just gonna toss all the other plants into the tank and then dump the fish in. Alrighty, and now that that's done, we can add in all our fish, which should be, there they all go. So I should have 3 endlers, 1 shrimp, and 6 chili rasboras. Alrighty, so everyone's quite good in here. There's our male endler, our female endlers. A bunch of the chili rasboras are back there, as you can see. There's our 1 remaining shrimp, and everyone's gonna be just fine in here for the couple of weeks. It's actually gonna be more water than they're in. As you can see, they're very small, and with all the plants in here, they'll have nice places to hide until I'm back in a couple weeks to rescape their tanks. So definitely be on the lookout for those videos coming out. Probably 3 weeks from now, I would assume, is when they'll be out. Okay, and right below our new temporary holding tank for all the fish that I'm bringing down is Pleco breeding tank, and it actually looks really, really great. There's not really many issues to it in the 3 months or so since I've been gone. It's a little bit of duckweed and a little bit of algae there, but everything else is great. The plecos themselves are great. There's our male diving into the cave, which is always a good sign. Hopefully there's eggs in there. And I actually added in a few little guppy fry into here, and they have grown up really nicely in these last couple of months. So hopefully when I'm back for winter break in about 3 weeks, I should be able to sell them. So I'm not sure when you guys are going to see this video, but probably soon afterwards I'll have these nice little black Moscow guppies up for sale. So all we really need to do here on this tank, it's pretty much dialed in completely, is just do a little bit of a water change. Even though everything is great, I've tested the water, doesn't seem to be an issue. These anubias are growing really well. There's no algae on them, as you can see. New leaves. I'm just gonna try and get rid of as much of this duckweed as I possibly can. I know it's a losing battle, but I might as well try. All right, so I'm gonna try and get rid of this duckweed and algae first. Just gonna reach in here with my hand, see what we can, okay. Trim some of these those roots off, I think. Okay, luckily it's in a nice little ball of duckweed and hair algae. That was actually quite easy. So yeah, I think that's all my tanks I've updated you. Most of the tanks worked just fine without the maintenance, as I set them up correctly, and just it happened that 2 of the tanks didn't. So I broke them down, got the fish in, got some new plants, and I will have learned from my mistakes, and I will be ready to put out even better tanks in their place, because this hobby is all about learning and maturing and learning, all right, this is what I did wrong, this is how I can fix it. So I've got a whole bunch of new plants, and I can go in and set up 2 much better tanks for these fish so that there's no algae. Tanks themselves are fine because there was no spikes in ammonia or anything like that, but they just weren't very aesthetically pleasing to look at with all the algae. So I decided to change them because I can make them better and make them just as good, but without the algae. So thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you all in the next one.